Parents, did you know that even if your 11th grader is a poor test taker, that you can still get money for college? In this quick video, I'm going to share with you how my student Jack was able to get over $200,000 in scholarships with a mediocre ACT score. I'm Dr. Pamela Ellis, the education doctor. I help teens find a college that feels like home and partner with parents to avoid overpaying. Now, with my student Jack, the key thing about him is that he had test anxiety. And that may be how your teen is, where they are nervous about taking tests, and you already know that when it comes to taking tests, that they're not going to do their very best. So one of the key things that I want you to keep in mind, which is what I shared with Jack, is that even though he may be worried about taking the test and thinking that he's not going to do as well, I would encourage him to still take 2 tests. So to schedule out taking 2 of the tests, because the thing about it is that he's already hearing about it from his friends at school, and there's going to be, just that feeling like he needs to keep up with everyone else because they are taking it, and so he doesn't want to be left out. So he's still scheduled to take 2 tests. The key thing with each of those tests was that he was preparing ahead of time. And so that means preparing at least around 6 to 10 weeks ahead of the test date. And even now, with everything going on and the cancellations, all of that, you can still schedule out for your junior to have 2 test dates. And keep in mind that with Jack, he was not also studying for the SAT at the same time. He only focused on the ACT and worked through doing the ACT. Now, here's the second thing, and this is something critical that we did during junior year, and that was the fact that we worked on developing the right list of colleges for Jack. And so there are colleges out there that don't even accept test scores. What they're looking for is they're looking for potential. They're looking for those students who are going to contribute to a campus community in a special way that test scores and GPA won't necessarily show them. And so I encourage your junior during the year to work on developing that right list of colleges. And if they are concerned that their test score is going to be lower than the proficient score or lower than that middle range, certainly looking at those colleges that are also test optional. That's going to be the way to go in terms of setting up their list. Now, the third thing that we did together when I was working with Jack that I want to make sure you hear me on, because this one I know isn't going to be the most popular one, and this is going to be a tip that you probably haven't heard before. But one of the things that Jack did consistently was reading for pleasure. Reading for pleasure. I can't stress that enough, is the fact that he was still doing reading outside of the assigned readings for school. And what that meant was that when it came time to do his applications, he had something to talk about. And for those colleges that were test optional, a number of those colleges had additional essays to write. And that was the way that they could get a sense for his potential, get a sense for the substance and how he would contribute once he was in college. And so by doing that extra outside reading for pleasure, that made all the difference in terms of the essays that he could later write in those applications. And so if your junior isn't doing that already, I'm going to encourage them right now to start reading for pleasure. That's going to make a key difference in terms of their applications in the upcoming months for college. So if you enjoyed all of the wonderful tips I just shared with you, I am looking for 5 parents who are interested in really solving this problem of helping their teen to get into the colleges of their dreams in the next 30 days. I want you to comment 1 in the chat.